Cavs start the season off right last night. Donovan Mitchell puts them over the top by 1 point, 114-113. Cavs over the Nets in Brooklyn as they kick off the season last night.
So much fun.
In New York. Yeah, I saw some of it.
I caught
fun to watch
bits
those
and
guys.
pieces during I was hosting my show at East End, and so I would go out there and check on the score and everything, and caught the very end of the game with all the excitement, and it was fantastic, and it's got me so pumped just for this season, for Friday, for basketball in general to be back. It made me so excited that I went and bought the NBA League Pass so I can just watch a bunch of games.
Oh, you did?
I love basketball, and it's only like $100 for the whole season, so I was like, hey.
Worth every penny.
Worth it for me. I watch a lot of basketball.
We will be live at the Romo Fijo tomorrow afternoon. It's the Cavs home opener. They won't tip off until 7:30, but we'll start up at 2 like we normally do. Bridget Linton is going to rejoin us. She'll sit in tomorrow over there. And I'm hearing conflicting reports about when the gates open. One person I heard said 5, somebody else said 6. Obviously, we would have more fun if they opened at 5 because, you know, we like to see you guys. If it opens at 6, I mean, that's fine too, but we'll almost be done with the show by then. And it's going to be a Friday afternoon, so there will be a live, loud, echoey, cavernous Bill Squire Friday Get Down.
Bringing Loudville to wherever we're broadcasting. Where are we? Do we know where we're set up at?
We're going to be, yes, I think that I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for it.
But I don't know for sure, so I don't want to say.
Okay.
But, I mean, when those gates open, I'm sure people won't have...
We'll bring in Loudville down to the main concourse, probably.
You know, we were talking about Loudville, and a couple of people told me that it's not Loudville because of the people. It's called Loudville because that's where the speakers are. And I said, there's no speakers up there, are there? The speakers are around the Jumbotron over the court. Are there speakers up in Loudville?
Not that I know of.
I haven't paid that close attention.
I always understood that Loudville was to get those fans to be like, yeah, we're the loudest fans in the arena.
Yeah, we're up here.
Yeah.
We don't get paid attention to, so we're going to make noise so you can't ignore us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that'll be tomorrow afternoon. If you get in there and we're still on, come by and say hello. But it'll be fun. And then once the home opener starts, the season is kind of officially underway. If you've had the news on at all, it's pretty much been wall-to-wall coverage of this mass shooting in Maine. And the first thing I thought of, and I sent you guys the group chat, is that's where that nurse was who called the show, Lewiston, Maine. And I thought that we had bureau chiefs there, but I guess she's just a listener in Lewiston, Maine, and I enjoyed talking to her just because she called randomly, and she had been listening there in Maine, and I loved it because I like that accent. But I have to think that she has been dealing with the aftermath of this shooting. I don't remember the hospital she was working at, but she had called us, and she, at the time, a couple of weeks ago, was just sitting there with a friend of hers.
From Maine.
Born
and raised.
Born and raised in Lewiston, Maine. And how's life? What do you do there in Lewiston, Maine?
Oh, I'm sitting right here with my coworker at St. Mary's Lewiston Medical Center. We're a phlebotomist.
St. Mary's Medical Center. She's a phlebotomist. I don't know. I'm sure. Listen, Lewiston can't be that big. I'm sure if they have more than one hospital, they're all taking victims of that thing.
Hello.
Hi, I love it.
Phlebotomist.
Oh my God, I love a good Maine phlebotomist.
Wait, let's check the deep stuff. When's the last time you saw comedian Bob Marley live?
Comedian Bob Marley. Well, actually, it's been since before COVID because I actually just moved back home from Ohio. That's how I found out about you guys. I saw Bill Squire about a couple months ago.
She was at a Bill Squire show.
There you go. That's pretty...
She didn't yell out with a Maine accent or anything like that?
Not that I remember. But I also love that...
I'm a phlebotomist.
Like, the Bob Marley thing was exactly what I wanted it to be. She's like, it's been a little while, but I've seen him.
Yeah. So this guy walks into a bowling alley and then walks into a restaurant and starts spraying whoever's there. The bowling alley, it was youth bowling night.
Don't get it.
And this is a guy who was known and on record as having mental health issues. He had been in an institution for a couple of weeks. He told his family, this is a 40-year-old guy, a person of interest. They can't find him.
That's terrifying.
They think they found his car abandoned at a boat dock nearby. And records said that he had bought a Sea-Doo, a jet ski, in June. And so because they don't know where the guy is, they think that he might have crossed state lines. So they have the Massachusetts police on high alert, too, because they got a ping from a license plate that they think might be have something to do with him that crossed into Massachusetts this morning. So now it's a multi-state manhunt and investigation and whatever. Person of interest is a 40-year-old guy named Robert Card. And so the running theory right now is that he might have very well escaped on that jet ski. But he walks into this bowling alley and starts shooting the place up. And the parents and, were able to some of them were able to get into another room and kind of hunker down behind some tables or whatever. But he went to this place and then I guess went to a bar down the street. And like I said, they found his car abandoned. But they said, but if you've paid attention to this, the fatalities have they said between 15 and 22. 18 deaths was the last thing I saw. This is, they said, easily the deadliest shooting in the history of the state of Maine. And so now they're looking, telling everybody in Massachusetts to kind of keep their eyes open and their head on a swivel. But if you've seen any of the security footage of this guy, it's as scary as anything else you see. And this is a guy who recently lost his job. He's an Army veteran. One of these guys that I think even the most ardent gun rights person would say, this guy should not be able to get firearms. For all of the lip service given to mental health, this is a guy who checks every single one of those boxes. This is a guy who walked in, but the family is like, he has been saying he's hearing voices. I guess he had some procedure or something that would, his hearing wasn't good, and so he got some kind of hearing aid. He had to wear these really strong hearing aids because he had been losing his hearing. And despite that, he would tell his family that he could hear people making fun of him all the time. And his family responded essentially by saying, well, you're just hearing things. But if you're somebody who thinks that people are saying things, that's not going to make you feel any better. So they don't know why he walked into the bowling alley and why he walked into the bar. They don't know if they're random. They don't have the guy yet. By the time they find the guy, he might have killed himself. But he had been in a mental health facility for multiple weeks over the summer. And his family is like, his family does the usual thing. He's really nice and never had any problems, but he's recently gone downhill, which is putting it lightly. And the rest of the family says that he had recently lost his job. He had publicly made threats to shoot up a National Guard base in Maine. But nevertheless, I guess people just weren't paying that close of attention to the guy. But he had lost his job. He had worked at a recycling center. He had worked as a long-haul truck driver. He has kids. So they're trying to track this guy down. But this guy that they're focusing on, just because he's been identified through the security footage, is still technically called a person of interest. They talked to a girl who survived and her mom, a little girl named Zoe Hutchinson, who's 10 years old, who got shot. We're talking to her on Good Morning America.
Zoe's leg grazed by a bullet. The young girl now unable to comprehend the horrific crime scene she witnessed.
It's just shocking. It's something that you'd think would never happen. I never thought I'd grow up and get a bullet in my leg. Why? Why do people do this? I was more worried about, am I going to live? Am I going to make it out of here? What's going to happen? Are the cops going to come?
You know, she sounds like a pretty sharp kid.
Yeah.
But the saddest thing in all of this is that these kids are getting less and less
Affected by it.
affected by it. You know, like these kids are kind of like TV ready when something like this happens. And that's really the saddest thing. I mean, obviously it's tragic and sad, but I mean, when they put these little kids on.
You know what's creepy that I didn't realize? If you go to, I'm on Google Maps because I wanted to look up the city. It has the city where the shooting is, like the two, or not the city, but the two places where the shootings happened. It's like marked on Google Maps. Like if you go to Lewiston, it shows you
Lewiston shootings is what it says.
Yeah. Now
they do that for all these.
I didn't, but that's like where they were, but they don't do that because if that's the case, you know how many little red exclamation points would be on all the cities?
Well, no, I think
Google Maps?
I think they do it to try to update it in the moment, in the immediate aftermath.
After it's settled?
Yes, I believe so.
Because literally you just type in city and it's like it has little red exclamation points.
I think it's for people using Google Maps to orient them as to what's going on. That there's probably going to be a lot of police presence at those two locations, that there's going to be, you know. But it is right on a river. So this theory that this guy might have hopped on a jet ski and gotten onto the Androscoggin River and taken it elsewhere. I don't know, but they're trying to find this guy. But again, it's awful and tragic. And with 18 dead, a part of it being at youth night at the bowling alley, that's more dead kids. But little Zoe Hutchinson there, fortunately just grazed, but, you know, and not in the moment, probably terrified in the moment. But, you know, hours later when you're on television, she sounds like she's got her head together at least. Let me give you some money here. It's $1,000. As promised, a chance for you to grab from the Buzzard bookie. It ain't our money. Hopefully it's your money. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Deposit. That's deposit. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
You know, unrelated to that, but kind of nearby, in New Hampshire, I was reading this story about this custodian at an elementary school, and he's making people nervous. He's making the parents nervous. He's making the administration nervous. He's making the kids nervous because at night, nobody's there. He has been taking photos and videos of himself. He's dressing like a clown, but like a horror clown. You know, like your Pennywise or your...
I think it's Twisty or whatever it was from American Horror Story. Was that?
Is that one of them? Yeah, probably. Or Art the Clown from Terrifier for a more contemporary reference. And they're like, he's really not doing anything wrong. He is trying to win a contest.
But he's on the clock, right?
No, it's at night.
Is he not on the clock at night?
He's not working at night, but he's going there because there's no one there. So he's like, well, no, there's no one there. But people are seeing this stuff online. He's trying to win a clown contest. Grand prize is $13,000. Obviously, the guy's not getting rich being a custodian. He was asking staff to support whatever. But it's making people really nervous because if it were just that, that would be one thing. But he's also like making comments online where he's like, I can identify with a lot of the monsters in movies. And he's talking about how, like, you know, those are characters like me who've been hurt by everyone around them and singled out. Just the kind of stuff that makes people really nervous, right?
Nobody's help.
Right. Anybody who's like way into horror clowns, it's never for something great. So, you know, word gets around and people are like, it's gross and it's uncomfortable, but they keep the guy employed. They're like, well, we can't really do anything about it. It's unorthodox, but nothing we can really do.
You can tell him it's private property and you can't go there.
Well, he's an employee, so they're, you know. But then, like, online, he's made some comments and he's taken photos of himself in the clown costume holding a gun. So it's like, this is where we are, though, where bosses are afraid to outright fire these people because they're worried they'll come back and shoot everyone.
Yep.
So it's like everyone's kind of held hostage to these potential psychos. You know, if he's at night and not, not harming anybody, but again, the administration's like, yeah, we're not super jazzed about him being here at night, taking videos of him dressed like a horror clown. Like, go do it at home or something,
That's why I don't understand why they can't tell him that. Like, if you're not,
They can, but this is what I'm saying. People in charge are terrified. They're like, yeah, we could fire the guy, but then what's he going to... Now he's a disgruntled clown.
Right.
That never ends well.
He's going to show up in the clown uniform.
Or a disgruntled fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can leave us messages. Yeah, anytime you want. Mission accomplished for that guy. If he wanted to terrify people, he did it. The Alan Cox Show After Hours line is 216-986-8903.
Alan, Trucker John, King of I-71. There is a Taco John's, exit 165 off of 71 South, inside the Love's truck stop. Has Poundcake started getting his big pimp suit together to accept his award? All right, man, take care of each other. Trucker John out.
I don't think it's a pimp suit, right? We just said for the Cleveland Scene Winners Party, you said you're going to wear a big canary yellow suit. That's more of like a super pimp suit. Maybe that's what he was talking about. Has Poundcake gotten his outfit together?
I don't think he has. I think he's on the phone right now.
All right.
But
Speaking of Taco
Poundcake and I still haven't gotten our invitation, so we don't even have
forward mine
official.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should get an official invitation. As
Yeah, you might. Well, it's just to save the date. Maybe they're still going to send those out. Do you have your suit, Poundcake, for that party? Oh, he's on the phone.
Still on the phone.
Did you see the photo going around Taco Bell? The hits keep on coming for Taco Bell. It was a photo of somebody getting a haircut.
At a Taco Bell?
At a Taco Bell. Oh, God.
What now? What did you ask?
Well, Trucker John called and asked if you had gotten your pimp suit for the Cleveland Scene Party yet, and I said more of a super pimp suit.
No, I haven't.
Not a pimp suit, like a canary yellow zoot suit or something.
I was preparing. I needed to see, the info.
Right.
So, no, I didn't.
No, but I think it was a girl who worked at the Taco Bell who took a photo of one employee giving another one a haircut. If you guys have the same stylist and maybe she's booked one day, just go to the Taco Bell. Just call them and find out. Hey, you guys have any openings for? I just need a clip.
I'll take a cheesy gordita crunch and a
little off the top.
Yeah.
And fade. Yeah.
I was just really shocked to look back and see someone cutting hair in a kitchen. I've never experienced anything like that. I also feel like I did the right thing. So if this is what it takes to do the right thing, then so be it. I'll find another job.
Wait, so she got fired for taking the photo?
Well, they called her a former employee, but I think she took the photo. This was in Kokomo, Indiana. Of course, the town immortalized by the Beach Boys many years ago.
The Muppets.
We've already gone over this, Poundcake. The Muppets were covering the Beach Boys.
I think it was the Muppets.
You think the Muppets initiated that song? You think that the Beach Boys covered the Muppets?
Didn't the Sanderson sisters make I Put a Spell on You?
See me after the show, will you? Hey, Bill in Lakewood.
Hey, Al. Hate the show.
What's going on?
Hi, Bill from Lakewood.
Hey, Bill in Lakewood.
Hey. I just had a quick comment on a guy that's going for the clown custom. So, what happened to, you're on the clock 8 to 5, and if you step foot on the premise at 5:30, you're fired? Or in today's media world, if you post something derogatory or, quote, scary, threatening towards someone, you're fired? See, we've lost you're fired because we can't get enough people hired.
No, it's got nothing to do with that. It's what I said. The people are terrified that somebody's going to come back and shoot the place up. Because he can't get his head around the fact that, these guys post photos, just using this guy as an example,
No, I know.
Or the guy in Maine, a guy who just lost his job. He's severely mentally ill, still got a gun. So they're like, yeah, he just walked into a bowling alley. So every normal person walking around in society is held hostage, essentially, passively, by you have to accommodate people so that they don't come and murder you.
Yes, that's the problem with not the problem with America, but guns have been so readily available for so many years. And I hate to say it, the criminals aren't playing legal; they're playing illegally. And this guy was a trained Army veteran.
Yeah, but you're not a criminal until you commit a crime. This guy hadn't done anything. This guy hadn't done anything before that. You know what I mean? Like 99% of people who are mentally ill are not violent. So when people talk about it's not guns, it's mental illness, fine. Then fully fund mental illness programs around the country. But that doesn't get done either.
Absolutely. But, I mean, mental illness is a big problem, but you can't tell when an individual is going to lose it. And
but you got signs.
Plenty of signs. That's what those red flag laws are for. They're like, hey, a guy who was institutionalized for 3 weeks because he's hearing voices, let's go to extraordinary lengths to make sure that he can't harm either himself or anyone else.
But then you throw him in prison, and then it's your civil rights. I mean,
well, no, not prison. He was in a hospital, not prison. He hadn't committed a crime until he murdered 18 people. Now he's a criminal.
How do you keep him in a hospital for, say, a year? Like, that's involuntary. You said he was 40 years old.
Yeah, I don't know how any of that works, Bill. But I mean,
if he's threatening, I just think if he's making a threat, that should be taken more serious than we find out about it after the fact. Like if he's making that threat, he made a threat. It was documented. He made this threat to go shoot up a base. That should put people in action to do at least a 30-day hold or do something to get this guy into a place, into a facility where they can monitor his mental health and try and help him get back to a place where he can be part of society and not be dangerous.
Not only that, he had the I got to move on, Bill, but I appreciate the call, buddy. Okay, thank you. There's Bill in Lakewood. Not only that, but this guy obviously had the clarity of mind to go, let's see, I'm going to shoot a place up. What are my choices? A military installation where they're all armed or a bowling alley with kids? Gee, where am I going to get less resistance? So it's not like the guy's completely out of his brain. He made that calculation. Go to a military installation. They're going to fill you full of holes on sight. But it's terribly, terribly sad. But the nurse that called us was the very first person I thought of when they said Lewiston, Maine. I got a break here. If you want to send a text, 35192. AlanCoxShow.com is where you can watch, and we'll be back.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS and everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.
Buzzard Radio.